Okay, mga Dabarkads at mga kabarangay at mga BFFs dyan, kagaya nga ng ating sinabi kanina, pag-umpisa natin ay meron tayong panauhin ngayon. Ay mga mahilig sa musika, especially mga blues music. Pinagpaunlakan tayo ng isa nating kabarangay at kabayan na ito na marami, palagay ko maraming mga nakakakilala dito sa taong ito dahil he's always a mainstay in any community festivals or gatherings dito sa ating community. And he is actually here in Melbourne, so kasama natin to. Yun nga lang dahil nga sa ating pandemya, medyo bihira natin siya makasama. So dito na lang natin siya makakasama ngayon sa through online. And I'm talking none other than the lead man and of the band Fuerza Azul. Okay, let's welcome Mr. Bong Sotto.
Good morning,
Okay,
everybody.
pasok.
Good morning, everybody. Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipino.
Mabuhay ang blues.
Oo.
First of all, Bong, maraming salamat at despite of your medyo wala ka sa kondisyon ngayon na medyo napagbigyan mo ang ating paanyaya na mag-usap-usap tayo, mag-talkies tayo. Don't
Why
worry,
not?
hindi kita pakakantahin ng live ngayon para hindi ka masyadong ma-stress. But anyway, maririnig natin yung iyong mga previous musical videos, ha? Pakikita natin sa kanila mamaya. So,
wow,
good
that's
morning.
good.
Oo, kaya nag-lockdown tayo kagabi lang, alas 12 ng gabi. So,
grabe.
buti na lang at hindi ito face to face ang ating interview. Kaya nga malaking pasalamat natin at meron tayong tinatawag na internet. Dahil biro mo kung wala tayong internet at ganitong nakakulong tayo sa bahay, baka masira na ang ating ulo. At mabuti ikaw at may outlet ka dyan. Tutugtog ka lang ng gitara mo, happy ka na.
Oo, pwede, okay lang. May studio, I got a really nice studio here. Yeah.
Okay,
I got a really nice studio.
That's right.
I'll show you my studio.
Oh, that's great. That's good. Oh, ayan. Lahat ng punong-puno ng ano pa yan. At saka properly acoustic soundproof.
Yeah, exactly.
Parang ano. So anyway, before we go further into the details ng iyong career, let's go back a few years back. Hindi ko naman natin sabihin, huwag natin ipahalata yung iyong edad. Basta sabihin natin a few years back in the Philippines, Bong. So tell us about your family, and I presume you come from a musical family. So tell us a bit about your family, your father, perhaps even your grandfather, and and how many siblings, brothers and sisters?
Okay, let me start off with the fact that my grandfathers were Vicente Sotto and Filemon Sotto. Both of them were senators in the Philippines, right? They were the first. Lolo Filemon was the chairman of the board of directors who drafted the Philippine Constitution. Okay, after the Japanese. After the Japanese left, okay, when the American left, my grandfathers penned the Philippine Constitution. Okay, The father of my father, Vicente, um, he was also he was a senator. Now, among the brothers, there were around five brothers and two sisters, and my father was the eldest, right? But my father was how do you call it? Anak salabas. He was the how do you call it? He was the eldest among all the brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay, that's right. Mm.
Okay, so all of the rest were all of the rest, Marivig and Paridel, and I can mention all the names, but they're all half brothers and sisters. My father's name was Cesar Soto. Cesar Soto. Now, my dad was a congressman of Davao, all right, vice mayor of Cebu, ambassador to the Philippines, to South America, Argentina, Buenos Aires, uh,
Mm.
ambassador to Mexico, ambassador to the Washington, Washington D.C., the
Yes,
states,
yes.
and worked in the Philippine government for so many years. Aside
Mm.
from that, aside from that, my dad was the youngest editor in the newspaper, Cebu newspaper, youngest
Okay.
editor at the age of 29. Okay, at the
Wow.
age of 25, he invented an instrument called the shilling. Okay, the shilling is a one-piece instrument with one string, and you play it like a cello, like a cello with one
Mm.
string and a bow, right? And it
Mm-hmm.
produced the sound of a cello and a violin, right?
Wow. Mm.
He was very good at it. He invented
Mm.
the instrument. In fact, he was so good at it that the board of directors of Carnegie Hall in New York invited him to play in Carnegie Hall in New York. He was the very first Filipino to ever been invited by the people in New York to play in a concert in New York. He was the first Filipino. So, para sa akin at sa mga ibang musikero na kilala ang Sotong family, siya talaga ang tunay na rock star, si daddy
Great.
ko.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh.
Diyan
So it's
naman, yeah.
mahirap talagang mapantayan ng ang airpot mo, Bong. Mahirap
My,
malagpasan. Pwede mo siguro mapantayan pero mahirap lagpasan ang kanya mga achievement.
noon, hindi ko mapapantay ng daddy. Wala
So,
naman alam mo sa musika naman walang pantayan eh.
mm,
May kanya-kanyang sariling talento yun eh, sabi ng daddy ko sa akin. Ang
okay.
pinaka-importante sa musika, nagagaling sa puso mo, yung tugtog mo. Maski tatlong akorde lang, pero nakikita kasi ng tao at saka pinaka-importante, nararamdaman mo yung tugtog mo. Maski paano pa kung ano pang tinutugtog mo, basta galing sa puso, maganda na.
Okay. Ayos
Yeah.
yan. Ayos. So
Yo.
anyway, what we want to know is how are you related to the mga celebrity Soto brothers, you know, Bal of the Hagiris, Big Soto of Itbulaga, and of course the Senate President Tito.
Yeah, they're all my first cousins. First
Mm-hmm.
cousin. They're all my first cousins. Uh, Tito, Val, Maru, and
Oh, Maru,
Vic.
okay.
The four
Mm-hmm.
brothers. They're very close to me. They're what's this? We've had Itbulaga for the last 42 years.
Mm.
Right? Yeah, I was the only Soto who was rebelde. So I didn't join I didn't join the comedy, the commercial scene. I went on
Uh,
my own and I played music. I like to play music on my own. I didn't like the commercial stuff very much, although I'm not putting down the commercial music,
of
but
course, yeah.
I'm not a comedian. I can say that I'm a true musiquero. I play the guitar. I sing.
Yeah.
I write songs. I write songs for movies, for jingles like that. But my passion in music was playing my original and blues. So That's
right.
and no matter how hard, naghirap kasi ako ng ilang taon bagong medyo sumikat. Oh.
Okay. So anyway, at what age did you start, playing music or learning the guitar?
Okay. So my
Anong edad mo?
dad first, my dad first taught me my first three chords when I was around 10 years old. Okay. He taught me the Kundiman blues, which went like this. Pinipilit kalimutan. Something like that. Okay? Yun ang tinuro sa akin yan. Daddy taught me how to play three chords, but it was in Kundiman and it was lumang blues na alam mo, ang Kundiman kasi blues yan ng Pilipino eh. So, yun ang tinuro sa akin ng daddy ko. So, I didn't really want to I learned how to play the guitar when I was very young. Pero talagang hindi ko talaga passion nung bata ko yung gitara. Yung passion ko talaga maging drummer. Pero alam mo yung drummer kasi pero naghirap ako sa drums kasi medyo nahirapan ako sa tempo at saka walang mahirap magdala ng instrumento. Ang dami mong dadalhin sa kotse.
So, na-turn off ka.
Na-turn off ako.
At saka biro mo kung naging drummer ka, di nasa background ka lang parati.
Exactly.
So, pinilit mo ngayon na magustuhan yung gitara. Yan.
Pero I finished school muna. So my dad and my mom were very adamant na, gusto mo mag-gitara, pero magtapos ka muna dahil hindi ka naman sigurado na magsisikat ka eh. Kung alam mo, yung mga musikero sa Pilipinas, hanggang ngayon, puro mga pobre. Let's say, ang mga sumikat lang dyan, a handful na musikero na talagang may pera. Yung musikero talagang pangkaraniwan na Pilipino, mahirap talaga. Lalo na, alam mo, that's why I had to go overseas eh. Kasama ko sila Wally, sila Pepe nung bata ako. Pero wala kami kinikita talaga. Sabi ko sa daddy ko, lagi ako tinitira ng daddy tsaka mami ko. Sabi ko, ano naman kinita mo kagabi? Sabi ko, eto, 20 pesos. Ha? 20 pesos. And then I would have to ask my mom, Mom, can I have my pamasahe? Or can I, Yeah. So that was so very funny because you couldn't make any money. I was playing in places like Cola House, Pension Filipina, Hobbit, you name it. I played it there. And we were only making 20 pesos a night. And I had to bring my guitar, ride the jeep, go to the gigs. Kasi if I use my car, nakakaya naman, di ba? Ako lang ang may kotse na.
I think that's very true. Very true, even among Western musicians. Not all musicians make a lot of money. Talagang bihibirang talagang successful dyan. So,
honestly, it took me maybe 10 to 15 years to make real money. Not 10 years because I'll tell you a little bit of a story of my career, right? In 1974, I was very lucky to be able to compose an original song called Filipino, which won the Best Original Award in the first Battle of the Bands in the Philippines, sponsored by RC Cola, Cesar Sihuco, right? In 1974. Right?
Sayang. Hindi pa uso naman mga recording equipment. Wala kang record nun.
So from then on, I was able to get a gig through my sister. We were playing at the Philippine Village. We were playing at Mustache. I was making bits. Maliit lang yung kinikita ko, pero enough to buy my strings, my go out and have fun, you know what I mean? Sex, drugs, and roll, eh, di ba?
Yun na nga.
But,
Yun na nga.
yeah.
Kasama yan.
Yeah, but then I decided I had to leave the Philippines if I wanted to make money. If I wanted to make a good career out of my music, I would have to get out of the Philippines kasi wala ka talagang kikitain dun. Puro ka tinapay ka lang at saka tinapa dun, right? So yeah, it's very true. You know, so I left. I went. I left with Pete Canzon. I left with Bing Labrador of Anakbayan, Jun Viray of one of the best drummers. He's dead now as well. And Bing is also has passed away. Only Pete's natira. We toured Asia together. And that was in 1977. I left. And I toured from Macau, Hong Kong, Tokyo, Seoul, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, you know what I mean? Ikot ako na yun.
Tour mo, overseas tour mo.
Playing in five-star hotels. Okay? Maliit pa rin ang kita, pero mas malaking kinikita namin. We were making around maybe $350 to $400 a month. Pero may sarili kaming kwarto, may swimming pool. Alam mo, we're living a good life. You know what I mean?
That's
Siguro.
That's great.
Yeah.
And at that time, that's big money, yung that amount, medyo okay na yan at that time, yeah, that's right. So,
yeah, so that has big money.
You were the you were the first OFM, hindi OFW, OFM, Overseas Filipino musician.
Yeah. Okay, so then I was playing in Singapore. I was so lucky. I got discovered by this diva called Anita Sarawak, who was the #1 singer in the whole of Asia. You can ask the Filipino community in Anita Sarawak, all right? So I played with her for 2.5 years, played with her in Hong Kong, did a lot of shows. I had my own flat in Singapore, spoiled ako, ganun. And then to cut the story short, I was playing in Hong Kong. And while I was playing in Hong Kong, I got discovered by a Chinese guy called Simon Hui, the biggest Chinese singer in the whole of Hong Kong and China. In fact, he probably sold over 1 billion records, right? During the late 70s, early 80s. So I worked with him for...
Yeah.
I worked with him.
The highlight of your career, yung Hong Kong na yun, would that be the peak of your career?
Yeah. Well, not really the peak. Let me finish the story. Okay, so I was in Hong Kong. I worked with him for 2-3 years, and I was making a lot of very good money, right? Wow. Very good money. I was making $1,000 US a week.
That's a lot of money that time.
Very plenty of money. So I always remembered what my dad said to me. Lagi ko natatandaan yung sabi niya sa akin, Bong, mag-ipon-ipon ka dahil pag wala kang pera, walang respeto sa'yo. Sabi niya sa akin.
Okay.
You always put money aside. Kunyari, kung kita ka ng 100 pesos, itabi mo na yung 20. Kalimutan mo na para hindi ka maging mukhang kawawa. Sabi niya sa akin, gusto mo maging musikero. Kung hindi ka sumikat, at least may pera ka. So, sinundan ko yun.
Old school advice yan. Anyway, we'll take a break, Bong, at
okay, sure.
sa kanila yung isang musical clip mo, and we'll talk shortly. We'll talk briefly about this after the video.
Okay, sure.
Ayan, medyo sa Dubai yan at medyo nagwa-warm up pa lang si Pepe Smith ba yun?
Oh, si Pepe.
Oo,
Kasama namin si Pepe.
nagwa-warm up pa siya noon, ha? Nagwa-warm up lang. Pero ikaw, medyo pinapainit mo na yung mga audience.
Oh, that's right.
So nakailang,
That's right.
was that Puerza Azul already, that band? O hindi
Yeah,
pa?
that was Puersa Azul. That was my band. I was the one who
Oh,
brought Pepe to Dubai. That was my band.
so
That was my concert.
how many times have you been to the Middle East
Twice,
playing
twice.
music? Twice,
Yeah,
okay, great.
twice. Yeah. In fact,
So,
we were supposed to do 4 cities this year, pero it got canceled because of the COVID. I was supposed to do
oh, yeah, yeah.
Qatar, Bahrain, Abu
Uh-huh.
Dhabi, and Dubai again, but we got canceled. And I was supposed to do London and Europe this year, but we got canceled because of the
Oh,
pandemic.
no, yes, I know,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But anyway, look, you can always send your network there in Dubai and London this film clip. Anyway, let's now move to your move to New Zealand and Australia, or was it Australia and New Zealand? Paano nangyari ito,
Yeah.
Bong, na napadpad ka dito sa
Oh,
ating
okay.
barangay?
So let me tell you the story. So
Yes.
I was playing in Singapore, right? And then my sister wrote to me, and no, I was playing in Hong Kong, and I was playing in Hong Kong, and the manager of Lion Brewery saw me play. He said to me, "Oh, Mr. Soto, would you like to come and tour New Zealand?" Sabi ko, "Wow, New Zealand. Okay to ah." Oh, ibang klase, New Zealand. So I said, okay, let me sign the contracts and let me sign the contract. Let me see how much I'll get paid, blah, blah, blah. So I signed the contract and I said, I'll finish my contract here and then I'll go to New Zealand. So what I did, I went and visited my sister, right, in New Zealand, Sining, nasa Sydney noon eh. She was
Ah,
married.
okay,
She
yes,
was
yes.
married already. So I stayed in Ning for 3 months and bonded with her,
Mhm.
jam, ganon. You know what I mean? Played in Sydney for a while. Pero hindi naman ako kilala, so wala masyado kaming mga tugtog. So after that, punta ako ng New Zealand doon. Nagtour ako ng New Zealand. I stayed in New Zealand for 7 years. Up and down, from North
Ah,
Island to South Island. Lahat ng bar, tinugtugan ko.
okay, okay.
Imagine.
At
Yeah.
that time, you were based na sa Australia, sa
No, I was based in New Zealand.
New Zealand. Doon ka muna
Yeah.
pumunta. Okay, okay.
I married, doon ako kinasal sa New Zealand to an English girl. And through that, I was able to gain my New Zealand citizenship. So, nag-New
Okay.
Zealand ako, pero nagsawa ako sa New Zealand kasi talagang wala nang matugtugan. Lahat tinugtugan ko na eh. Alam mo, TV, oo, lahat ng
You
pub.
you
So,
have to remember that it's a very small country, so
yeah,
naubos mo lang yung
New Zealand is a small country, pero it's a beautiful country talaga.
beautiful country. That's correct, correct.
Beautiful country.
Okay,
Oh.
that's right.
So,
In 7 years,
after
nalimot mo, ha?
Oo, talaga. Oo. Kaya I know it like the back of my hand. From Wellington to Invercargill to Kaitay, Kerry, sa North Palmer sa North. That's where I opened for Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's where I met a lot of good people. Alam mo, I love New Zealand. That's why I never changed my citizenship. I'm a New Zealand citizen, not an Australian. Let me make that clear. Okay?
Oh,
I'm a Filipino New Zealander.
New Zealander. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
So, yeah. So after 7 years, Jover, I decided I'll bring my band to Melbourne because nagsawa na talaga ako. Wala na talagang puro ganun na lang, Puro ganun. So I transferred here to Melbourne. Wow, sumikat kagad ako. Swerte ko talaga. Ang daming kumukuha sa akin. Alam mo, ang
Okay.
daming kumuha. Oo, daming kumuha sa akin. So I made Melbourne my base. from 1989 up to now, Melbourne has been my base. Through here, from Melbourne, I traveled all over the world. I traveled to Europe, Middle East, the States, Manila, Hong Kong.
Okay,
Dito ko,
matagal-tagal na rin.
ito yung ginawa kong
Matagal-tagal
base.
din.
Oh, matagal. Kasi
Okay.
I love this country. I love Australia. Magaling talaga eh. Magaling umalaga ng citizenship, mga citizens, mga tao. May permanent resident ako rito. Ang dami kong naging
So you've been,
best friends.
yeah,
So,
that's right. Yeah. So you've been away. You've been away from Pinas. I mean, as a Filipino-based musician, you've been away from Pinas for what, more than 37 years? Kasi 7 years
yeah,
in New
yeah,
Zealand.
exactly. But let me tell you, I always go back to the Philippines.
Of course, that,
Sometimes I go back to the Philippines 4 times a year to do a movie, to write a
maybe,
score, to do a concert. You know what I mean? The Filipino soul in me never left.
of
Ako
course,
ay tunay na Pilipino. Doon ako
lahat
talagang
tayo.
lumaki. Hindi ko kinalimutan yun. Kaya pag lagi ako pumupunta sa ng Pilipinas at saka nagko-concert ako sa MOA, Araneta, kung saan ako tumutugtog para, alam mo, kasi ang dami kong naging kaibigan doon. Lagi ko kasama sila Pepe, si Wally, si Eli Buendia, yung mga lumang mga musikero.
Yung mga musicians, yung mga old school musicians, ha? At
Yeah, mga lolo ng rock and roll na Pinoy.
Anyway, look, let's go to Fuerza Azul, which is your current band.
Yeah.
Before Fuerza Azul, or I mean, I should say, how old or when did you establish Fuerza Azul? And was
Fuerza
there
Azul.
any band before that?
Ang dami kong banda eh. Hindi ko man
Kabilang.
you cannot count how many bands I've been in and out until I formed my own band. So Fuerza Azul was the birthplace of myself, Pepe Smith, Manoling Poblador, and Wally Gonzalez, Wendell Garcia. So there were around 6 of us who formed this base that would only play blues in Manila. Okay? So Fuerza Azul means blue force in English.
In English, yeah, of course.
Blue force, right? So that's all we played is blues. You know what I mean? So we started that off in Manila in I think in 2003. 2003. 2003 na. 2003 na. Dahil pabalik-balik na ako ng Manila hanggat ng 2003, we decided, gawa tayo ng banda, Puerta, so blah, blah, blah. So, gawa ako ng banda, tapos dinala ko na rito, pati sa Australia. Sabi ko, I will form the chapter here. So, I formed my chapter dito rin, Puerta Azul, pero Australia naman. Kumuha rin ako ng mga Pilipino na musikero, at saka isang South African. So we also had the Puerta Azul here in Australia, in Melbourne.
To make it clear, yung Puerta Azul was formed when you were already here in Australia. Nung sa New Zealand ka pa lang, iba pa yung band mo noon sa New Zealand.
Oo. But yung banda ko sa New Zealand, ang patawag ko, very, very popular, Fire and Ice.
All right. Okay. That's great. So what do you think? What do you think about the attitude of or the response of the Filipino community in general sa mga blues, Bong? Anong masasabi mo?
Alam mo dito sa Melbourne, they're not very. Hindi pa sila sanay sa blues eh. Alam mo, yung blues kasi pang ego eh. Pero little by little, na-educate na sila, alam mo. Pero mahirap talaga pag nasanay ka sa alam mo yung Pilipino, sentimental music gusto nila, yung mga cha-cha, mga love songs, mga ganun. Hindi mo rin sila masisisi dahil siyempre galing tayo sa traditional Spanish culture eh. Yun ang turo nila eh, di ba?
So,
Di
yung
ba?
mga
Yun ang turo.
sentimental music,
Oo.
may
So,
istorya.
so pag kami ni Ming ang nagtumutugtog, lagi niya sinasabi, Bong, kailangan ka kailangan ka mag-iba rin ng kwan. You have to adapt to the Filipino. Oh, you have to adapt to the you have to adapt to the Filipino way. Ako matigas talaga ulo ko. Sabi ko, ayoko matanda na ako kung gano'n. Sabi ko, hindi na ako tutugtog, kayo na lang. Alam mo, so, but because of lack of playing, bahala na. Sige, tugtog na rin ako. Makatugtog lang. Kasi walang nga ang tugtog na yun eh, di ba?
So in a way, parang you are on a campaign, You're on a campaign to make the Filipino community in general, what you call this, recognize the blues.
Yeah.
Ko lang kung, embrace and be familiar with the blues music.
Yeah. Kasi yung blues, madali naman yung blues eh. Baka mo.
Okay.
I'll play you something. Naglaho na ang init ko sa'yo. Naglaho na ang init ko sa'yo. Blues to ha. Di ko kailangan palengkerang tulad mo. And that's one of my compositions.
Well, pwede pa lang i-adapt ang blues sa ating Filipino language,
Oo naman, ang dami kong sinulat na blues na Filipino. Oo.
Sayang, pero sanang tayong time na-research natin yun at never mind. Hanapin
We have more time. This will not be the only time. Next time we will prepare more songs. I will ask me to come over and we will sing for you.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, ngayon, so nasagot mo na yung question about the attitude ng mga yung mga understanding ng mga kababayan natin sa blues.
Oo. So, alam mo yung mga kababayan natin, may mga followers din ako rito na naintindihan naman nila na talagang blues. Alam mo, na talagang pero yung Filipino talaga, hindi mo rin talaga rin sila masisisi. Mahilig sila sumayaw, mahilig sila magsenti-senti. Alam mo, so I don't put them down. That's our culture, you know what I mean?
Our culture, bigay hilig yan, bigay hilig. Anyway, now, let's go back to your musical career, Bong. So, meron bang, anong matatawag mo na mga memorable moments ng iyong career as a musician? Going back to the Philippines, Middle East, marami-rami din yan.
Yung latest, yung 1996, I was voted the best musician in Australia in Melbourne. Okay? That's one.
Anong grupo ito? Anong grupo ang nagbigay ng award?
Ito na yung Fire and Ice.
Ayun.
Ayun. So also I played with with people like Pepe Smith, Wal Gonzalez, Anita Sarawak, Simon Huy, people who have really big names and who treated me really well and gave me the opportunity to to become one of them ba? You know what I mean? Kasi mahirap nung hindi ka makapantay eh. Pag hindi ka sa standard nila, talagang tatanggalin ka eh. You know? So, and then in 1974, I also won the Best Original Award in the Philippines for the Best Original Song, okay? In the Battle of the Bands, the first band among 3,000 bands nalo ko. So, I cannot compare to the accomplishments of my cousins Vic and Tito and Val, you know what I mean, in politically and in their artistry. But all I can say is ako lang po ay isang simpleng musikero.
Yan ang maganda, yung simple lang pero very effective and nagkakapagbigay ka ng kasiyahan sa mga fans and listeners mo. Ha?
Oo naman, oo. Importante yun eh. Dalawa puso mo dyan eh. Puso ng nakikinig sa'yo at saka puso mo. Alam mo, dapat naabot mo yung mga puso na nakikinig sa'yo.
Okay. Was there, mayroon bang panahon, Bong, na nag-isip ka na gusto mo nang iwanan ang musika o mag-give up na sa music at mag-iba ng career o trabaho?
Never.
Ayun.
Never did I for once, did I ever think na, wow, hindi na ako talagang, kasi simula noon, hindi na ako nagtrabaho. I never worked na 8 to 5 na job na ano to. I'll tell you the story of that, okay? So, I've never worked yung trabaho ng opisina, ganun. Never ako nag-work. Till 2002 yata, nagkaroon na ng, I had a heart attack in 2002. 2002, okay. So, I had to stop. Okay? So, I had to stop. I had to stop playing. I had to stop touring. So, I went back to school. Nag-aral ko ng alcohol and drugs. I finished my diploma and then I worked for 3 years in the Salvation Army 8 to 5. Helping drug addicts, helping alcoholics, you know. Pero I only worked for 3 years because I had to recover. After that, I left again and then I became a full-time musician again.
Dito sa dito sa Melbourne yan, no?
Dito sa Melbourne yan. Dito, dito sa Melbourne.
Ayan na po yung mga bahagi ng buhay ng ating kabarangay na Bong Sotto, na siguro karamihan sa atin ngayon pa lang maririnig, but you were, kasabi nga ng mga OC, you've been there, done that. Huh?
Exactly. Been there, done that. It's all in my life that and I'm very proud to say that I'm a true Filipino musician, but I'm also a true musician in every sense of the word because I love music and I love the people who play music no matter kung ano pang tinutugtog nila. Yun ang importante dun eh.
Mabigat na tanong, Bong. Do you have any regrets sa iyong tinahak na buhay?
Alam mo, napakaswerte ko sa buhay ko. Dahil, alam mo, 61 na ako nung na-meet ko yung asawa ko na napakaganda niya. My wife is 30 years younger than I am. She's the most good. She's the most. Talaga. Kasi, alam mo, sa dami-dami kong naging babae, wala akong nakita talaga na talagang ewan ko ba, ang daming babae na talagang hindi nagtatagal talaga sa babae. Nagsasawa ako sa kwan. No? Ewan ko kung nagsasawa sa akin o nagsasawa sa kanila. Hindi naman nila kasalanan most of the time kasalanan ko kasi iba talaga yung hinanap ko till I met my wife. And then my wife
mabuti pa yung music, talagang stick to one ka lang sa music.
Oo naman. At saka yung wife ko gave me my inspiration to continue on playing. Maski kasi in 2000 and, in 2017 I had a very big heart operation.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
okay.
So I had to stop for siguro mga 1 year. But she egged me to continue on playing music. So I recovered for 6 months. After 6 months, on the road na naman ako, tour na naman ako around the world.
Oo.
So,
Okay.
oo.
So, kaya nga, sabi ko, wag nating patutugtugin si Bong ng live at para hindi ma-stress. But anyway, look, talking about family, ilan
Yeah.
lahat ang ilan lahat ang naging anak mo? Yan.
5. 5 yung
Okay.
naging anak ko. Tatlo yung
Ano mga
nandito.
okay.
Tatlo yung nandito. Dalawa yung nandito. Isa na sa Pinas. Yung isa na sa Brazil. Yung isa na sa States. 5 sila lahat. Limang iba-iba yung babae. Pero dito sa asawa ko, walang anak.
Ito, ang tanong na ito, ilan ang panganay mo? Yan ang tanong.
Lahat sila panganay.
Mahirap pa yun. So, ibig sabihin talaga, pa-isa-isa lang talaga, ha?
Oo. Pareho nga kami ni Vic eh. Paligsahan kami ni Vic eh. Pag nagkikita kami, lagi kami nagtatawanan. Kasi si Vic, yung asawa niya, mas bata yung asawa niya ng 34 years. Ay, yung asawa ko, mas bata ng 30 years. Kaya pag nakikita kami, nakakatawa.
Talo ka ni Vic.
Talo ko ni Vic. Oo, talo ko ni Vic. Oo.
Anyway, ilang taon yung pinakapanganay na panganay? Yan. I hope you don't mind.
Ang pinakapanganay na panganay na si Mickey is around 50 years old. Tapos may 48 ako. May 48 ako. Tapos may 39 ako. Tapos may 17 ako. Tapos yung youngest ko, 15.
Tama yung narinig ko, 50 ha? 50 years old na yung panganay mo.
Oo. Kaya 71 na ako ngayon eh. Sa totoo. I'm 71 years old.
Any of them followed your footsteps, Bong?
Yeah, my youngest son is playing music now. 15. He's learning how to play the guitar. My daughter is also learning how to play the guitar. My 38 years old is one of the top 5 rappers. Nag-rap siya eh. Yung mga hip-hop dito sa Australia. Tapos yung isa, yung nasa States, hindi siya naging musikero, naging psychologist siya. Tapos yung nasa Brazil, environmentalist naman.
Meron kang representative all over the world. Sa New Zealand po, wala kang doon, wala kang naiwanan doon.
Wala, dinala ko rito yung anak ko.
I see. Okay.
Nandito yung anak ko, galing sa New Zealand. Si James ang pangalan.
Mahirap talagang yan. Mahirap mapantayan ng ang iyong productivity sa music at sa mga anak.
Oo. Alam mo, Jobert, yung anak kasi, pag nasa overseas ka, nai-inlove ka sa mga babae, ang daming magaganda eh. Hindi mo mapipigilan na, wow, yung mga panahon natin, walang mga contraceptive, mga pil-pil, mga ganyan. Basta hala, tira ka ng tira, yun, anak ka ng anak, gano'n. Gano'n na nangyari. Hindi ko naman pinagsisisigan eh. Hindi ko naman pinagsisisihan yung ginawa ko dahil lahat naman sila kinukup ko, di ba? So, ganun talaga ang buhay lang talaga.
Okay. Itong isa pang maybe masasagot mo ito dahil ito yung mga medyo pinupukol sa iyo ng mga ibang mga kabarangay natin dito, may mga nagko-comment na ikaw daw ay masyadong flamboyant pag nasa stage ka. Flamboyant ibig sabihin parang sinusolo mo yung eksena pag nasa stage ka. Yung mga kasama mo na sa band ay medyo nawawala sa eksena. So, anong masasabi mo rito?
You know, I'll tell you something, I'll tell you something, Jobber. When you're on stage and you're the singer and you're the lead man, you know, the band is supposed to follow you. That is the main thing. That's why you're the flamboyant. You're the main star. You're the star of the show. Okay, the band mo, maski dapat silang sumusunod sa'yo. Dahil ikaw lang ang kwan eh. Ikaw yung bida eh. Alam mo? Ikaw yung bida, hindi naman sila yung bida, hindi naman sila yung kumuha ng gig eh. Ikaw ang number one, ikaw yung tinitingnan ng tao. So ikaw ang dapat ang maestro, ikaw ang konduktor. Okay? Hindi mo sinasadya yun, pero kailangan hawakan mo yung stage eh. Alam mo? Maski kasama ko sila, alam mo, even tanong mo sila Pepe o patay na siya, maski kasama mo sa Manila. Pag ako na sa stage, alam mo, hindi pwedeng, kailangan nga ang drummer ko sasabihin lang, sundan nyo lang si Bong, okay? Huwag na kayong gumawa ng kung ano-ano. So Bong lang ang susundan nyo kasi siya ang star, siya ang bida. Okay? Yun na talaga. Hindi sa pagyayabang.
Tama naman yun, tama naman. So, yung Puwersa Azul is more like parang support band mo yun. At kumbaga, ikaw talaga ang lead man doon. So, di ba dapat lang itawag dyan is Bong Sotto and the Puwersa Azul?
When you say naman kasi Puwersa Azul, it's Bong Sotto eh.
Ganun ba yun?
There's no Puwersa Azul. Yeah, when you say Puwersa Azul, it's already a given that Bong Sotto is the Puwersa Azul, is the main man. Because I'm the one who, in Puwersa Azul, it's me, my sister sings all the pop songs. I've been teaching her how to sing the blues, pero alam mo, it takes time to learn how to play the blues. And Roy Zedras, our bass player, also plays the blues. So mostly when I play, it's only me it's really me, and they back me up on stage. And you will see that in my concerts naman eh. You know what I mean? But it's not saying I'm not saying na inaagaw ko yung eksena sa stage. Binibigay ko lang yung sarili ko sa tao. Kasi yung Puwersa Azul, ako yun eh. Binibigay ko yung sarili ko sa tao.
Yun. Hindi mo dapat agawin dahil ano mo yun eh. Ikaw yun eh. Ikaw yung
alam mo, walang agawan sa... Alam mo, Jobber, walang agawan sa stage eh. Alam mo sa stage, kung maganda kung maganda yung tugtog mo sa stage, hindi lang ikaw ang bida dyan, yung buong banda ang bida dyan. Dahil kung wala yung banda, wala ka eh. Yun na, understand me?
Yes,
diba?
Of course.
Kung hindi magaling yung banda mo, wala maski gaano ka pagkagaling sa mag-solo o wala kang kwenta kung hindi magaling yung banda mo. Kaya binibigay ko yung puso ko sa unang-una sa banda ko. Kasi pag ang banda ko magaling, nako, gagaling talaga, mas lalo akong gagaling, di ba?
Okay.
Tama?
Okay. Yes, tama. Okay. Ito Bong, medyo malapit na tayong magpaalam, pero this is the highlight question na. Ano ang masasabi mo sa mga Filipino festival organizer dito muna sa Melbourne? Ano ang kaibahan nila o may pagkakaiba pa sila sa mga Australian organizers ng mga gig mo? Anong masasabi mong pagkakaiba?
Alam mo,
minefield at huwag na natin banggitin yung mga pangalan.
huwag na tayo magbanggit ng pangalan. Yes. Alam mo, nung 2002, kami nag-close kasi ng Flemington eh. yung festival sa Flemington, kaming huling-huling banda. We played in front of siguro mga 20 to 30,000 people on the ground, and we played in Flemington. And we opened the Laverton. We played there for 2 years, right? In Laverton. Yung hindi pa sila nagkakagulo. The main problem, and I'm not gonna ask, I'm gonna not mention name, but you know, the Filipino local musicians are are treated so very unfairly talaga. And it hurts me to say this because, you know, no matter how much I love the people from the from here, they don't know how to treat the musicians properly, yung mga local lalo. Binibigyan lang kami ng coke at saka $100, $100, tapos papatugtugin kami, tapos parang nababaliwala kami. Samantala, pag kumukuha sila ng mga entertainers sa Manila, babayaran lang ng $10,000, $15,000 para makashow. Hindi naman tama yun, di ba? Alam mo, hindi na nagkukulang sila ng respeto sa local musikero. Kaya, alam mo, siguro ako dahil full-time ako na musikero, nararamdaman ko yun eh. Alam mo, ewan ko kung nararamdaman mga ibang musikero, pero I'm speaking for myself here, okay? I'm not speaking for all the musicians in Melbourne, okay? Because there are other musicians in Melbourne na makatugtog lang, okay lang sa kanila yung bayad o coke o whatever ang ibibigay. Alam mo, kami kasi pag wala kaming tugtog, wala kaming kakainin eh. Naintindihan nyo yun. Siguro, yung mga, alam, walang pinapatamaan dito, sinasabi ko lang sa inyo, yung nararamdaman ko as a musikero na Pilipino. Dahil kung kami mga Pilipino, alam mo, kung kami Pilipino, tatatuhin nyo ng gano'n. Wag naman sana baguhin nyo no, yung pagka... Hindi naman lahat. Alam mo, may mga producers na dito na magagaling din, na may puso rin sa local na Pinoy. Alam mo, alam nila yun eh. May mga tao na hindi na mababanggit ng pangalan ng mga na maayos lang mag-treat ng mga musikero, okay? May mga taong gano'n, pambihira lang. Pero may mga tao talagang, tingnan, tumugtog na lang kayo. Ito lang yung bayad sa, ito lang ang kaya namin bayaran.
Pero may bago, Bong, di ba, bago ka i-book ng mga organizer na yan, hindi ba kayo nagkakaroon ng parang formal na contract o memorandum of agreement? O puro verbal lang?
Walang ganun dito. Walang ganun yung mga kontrata rito. Walang kontrata rito, pare.
Is that the same sa mga gig mo ngayon with the mga Australian venues?
With Australians, you gotta sign a contract. May deposito, you know what I mean? May dressing room ka, alam mo, hindi ka kailangan magbuhat, plug in, plug out ka lang. Pag Pilipino ka, talagang hirap ka eh. Pero alam mo, tugtog yan eh. So, alam mo, yung tugtog namin dito sa araw ng Dabawenyo sa March 13. Yung araw ng Dabawenyo yan. Tutugtog kami nila.
Sana matuloy yan.
Alam mo, yung verbal agreement lang ito, pero yung mga tao na tiga Davao, kilala ko. So, maayos naman sila kausap, alam mo. At saka taga Davao kami, kaya never mind, okay lang, you know what I mean? We will give them our best. So,
ayun,
and we like Davao.
Para Filipino organizers, parang more or less parang nakahiyaan na maglabas ng papeles, ng contract na pirmahan. Parang nakaka-turn off. Is that right to say na nakaka-turn off?
Wala naman. Tanong mo maski kaninong Pilipinong musikero na pirmatan ng kontrata, tugtog kayo rito. Walang, ewan ko. Sa amin talagang walang nagagano, basta sabihin nyo, oh, ito yung bayad sa inyo, $500. Ito yung show. Ito yung show nyo, 1 hour kayo. O ganun. Tapos, pagkatapos sa show, babayaran lang kayo. Ganun. Pero yung sasabihin mo, kontrata. Okay, okay, kontrata to. May dressing room kayo, may tubig, may sandwiches. Okay? Ito ang drinks nyo. Ano yung mga drinks nyo? Ito yung technician nyo. Kung anong kailangan nyo. Iba kasi. Pero dito sa araw ng Dabawenyo, talagang pinilit ko talaga dun sa producer at sa organizer na kailangan namin ng dressing room, kailangan namin ng roadie, kailangan namin ng... at least, hindi sila makabayad ng malaki. At least, hindi kami nagmumukhang kawawa na kami magbubuhat.
Hindi kayo uncomfortable.
Diba? Hindi kami magbubuhat ng instrumento, hindi kami ganito. Alam mo, medyo spoiled din kami dahil, siyempre, kung hindi dahil sa amin, hindi naman pupunta yung mga tao dyan.
Hindi kaya it's high time na magkaroon ng, maski hindi man ganun ka detalyado o complicated na contract o memorandum of agreement, maski na isang A4 paper lang, maski handwritten lang at may pirma na ganito ang ilang kanta ang gagawin nyo, ganito ang agreement na ibabayad sa inyo para pagkatapos ng gig, walang misunderstanding. Yun ang sinatawag natin.
Wala talaga. Alam mo, Jober, ang hirap nito kasi, ang hirap kasi nito, alam mo, ang dami nating Pilipino, I'm not putting any Filipino musicians down. Gusto lang tumugtog para sasabihin lang, exposure, para makatugtog lang, alam mo, sabik na sabik yung mga bata, mga musikero dito, makatugtog. Alam mo, kaya mabigyan lang sila ng 100 o kung, alam mo, okay lang sa kanila. Okay lang. Hindi naman sila masisisi dahil gusto tumugtog eh. Ang masisisi mo lang talaga, yung mga nagta-take advantage. Alam mo, yung sana naman, okay, so wala na ang kontrata. Ang kikitain nila siguro, let's say, out of my head, kikita sila ng $20,000 dun sa concert nila, okay? Sa event nila. Tapos magbabayad sila sa 5 banda, 1,000, 1,500. Tama ba yun? Hindi naman tama yun, di ba? Di ba? Babayaran everybody $100, $150. You know,
napakaliit naman yung 100 to 150. Kulang pa sa panggasolina yun.
Buti ko magbabayad pa sila ng ganun eh. Minsan wala pang ang bayad eh. Pino talaga makukulang eh. Okay na eh.
Pero hindi, palaki yung community natin, Bong. Siguro, I think wala bang palagay ko ikaw siguro ang pwedeng mag-start dahil ikaw ang pinaka-experience, pinaka-senior na musician dito sa community. Bakit hindi mo magkaroon ng parang alliance yung mga
I've tried to form a musicians union here.
Union. Okay. Ano
3-4 years ago, pero you know it's so hard kasi to have a musicians union when everybody wants to play for free or for nothing at all. Basta you can play lang, okay na.
Para lang makita, I say.
Okay. And dami kasi alam mo, hindi mo talagang masisisi dahil ang dami gusto, mahal, they love to play. You know what I mean?
That's right. Okay. I know what you mean.
Huwag kayo tutugtog ng $100 lang ha. Kasi paano naman kami. Hindi mo sasabi yun eh. Kasi alam mo, it's so hard to tell them, don't play like this. You cannot have rules like that because they love to play. What are you gonna say? Do not play. I cannot say that. You know what I mean? But do you have to think about us who pay our mortgages, pay our cars, pay our food, pay our tuition fee. We're the full-time musicians who cannot get any gigs. I have to go overseas to play. I I have to go overseas to play, pare. Alam mo,
Eh,
wala rin kung kukuha sa akin na magbabab ng $1,000, $2,000 a show. Wala, pare.
that answers our question, my question, Bong, kung bakit nagkakaganon. Dahil, siyempre, marami tayo mga, especially yung mga young musicians,
Oo.
yung mga teenager dyan, na medyo nakakapag tipa-tipa na ng gitara, gusto nang makaakyat sa stage with audience.
Oo. Yeah.
That's right. So, but anyway, talagang mahirap talaga. But anyway,
But let me tell you, let me give you some advice from a 70-year-old
yes,
musicero.
yes,
Just play music from your heart. You know what I mean? If you make it, you will make it. If you have to work from 8 to 5, playing, being a technician or blah blah blah, and then you can play music. Why not do whatever it is? But don't stop playing music, because the music should not stop. You know what I mean? Musikero ka habang buhay mo. Alam mo, wag mo itatabing pagka musikero mo, maski anong mangyari pa, tumugtog ka. Alam mo, yun ang advice ko sa mga musikero rito.
hey, with that advice, Bong, mabuhay ka at talagang masarap sana ang kwentuhan natin, pero huwag ka magsasawa at hindi lang itong una mong pagbisita dito sa ating programa. So medyo ano ka na, banggitin mo na yung shout out ka na sa mga kaibigan mo, mga band members mo, especially sa Puwersa Azul. Patiin mo sila bago tayo magpaalam.
Okay, so I've got very, very sorry to not to have canceled the show because of the COVID-19 on February 14th, also due to the health reasons. But I've got upcoming gig, and just look at my webpage at my the Bong Sotto Blues page for the coming presentation of awardee nights, where I will be one of the awardees for Pinoy Ako Pinoy Tayo for Alan Pineda's radio show. Also, I have got a concert on March 13 in Altona for the Araw ng Davaoeños. So please come and attend that. I mean, it's medyo may kamahalan yung ticket, but we've got 4 good bands that are playing. We got a guy from Africa who plays really good music, and then you've got 2 local bands plus our band, and we hope to have a good night. Another thing, I would like to thank also my band Puerto Azul, my sister Ning and Roy Zedras, and the people who have followed us around, my ardent followers who for years and years and years have followed me around and treated me like a good friend, and my fans who totally followed me throughout the years, even if I play blues, maski di ko matugtog yung mga gusto nila, sunod sila ng sunod. And then most and lastly of all, I'd like to thank Jover and the Barangay Ko Barangay Tayo lahat. And thank you very much for having me, and I hope that one day myself can play for you and entertain you live music.
Hayaan mo, Bong, pagdating namin ng 1 year, kasi wala pang 1 year itong ating Barkadahan Barangay show. Pagdating namin ng 1 year, mag-iisip din kami na magbibigay ng mga award sa mga naging guest natin dito. So, you're on the running, ha? Isa ka na sa mga kakaroon. Anyway, maraming salamat, Mr. Bong Sotto. Mabuhay ka at
just give me a call, Jover, when you want me to play or when you want me and my sister to play. We will play for you anytime, okay?
yes, i-organize natin si Celine na siya naman ang ating ma-interview next time. Mabuhay.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Salamat po. Mabuhay tayong lahat.